Hi everyone, so what I'm going to be covering today is, I'm hoping to cover two things, and the first thing I want to cover now is a thing called function notation. So, to get into what function notation is, this is a form of saying that if you recall from when we were covering linear line equations, we had it in the form of y equals mx plus b. This was for the lines we covered. The function notation is essentially what we do is we write something down as y equals f of x, where f stands for function, x is the input, and that creates y, which is the output. So input, function, and output. So looking at that in terms of this example over here, which I'm going to put down below, and I'll put this up higher. The function notation for this would be, instead of writing y equals on this side, I would just write down f of x equals mx plus b. This would be in function notation. So what happens is then, if I wanted to sub in x equals 1, then I can say f of 1 would equal, where 1 is the input, we're putting in a specific thing, m times, instead of x there, we'd have 1, m of 1 plus b. If I had f of 3, once again, you would just put in 3 wherever there were x's in the original f of x. So it'd be m times 3 plus b. These are just all very, very standard examples of function notation. And obviously, by the name, it says function notation. This only works for functions. Will not work for relations that are not functions. So do keep that in mind. So if I said that we had given f of x is equal to x cubed minus 3x squared plus 5, and I said find, for part A, I said f of 1. What you would do is you would just plug in x, you plug in 1 for where all the x's are. So in this case, we can see there are only two places we need to sub it in, which will be there. So f of 1 will be 1 cubed minus 3 times 1 squared plus 5. And that's going to simplify to 1 minus 3 plus 2. I believe that's going to become 3. Now for part B, if I said find f of 5, once again, we just sub in 5 for where there are x's, which is here and here. So it's going to be 5 cubed minus 3 times 5 squared plus 5. Now I'm going to use my calculator for that one, but that's going to simplify to 5 cubed minus 3 times 5 squared plus 5, which is going to be 55. Now for part C, if I said find f of b, that means we're going to be putting in b where there was originally x's for the input. So that means that originally f of x, x cubed minus 3x squared plus 5. Now we're putting in b where there were x's, so it's going to become b cubed minus 3b squared plus 5. Similarly, I can actually change it up a bit. I can say, what is f of b plus 3? Or b minus 3. I'll put b minus 3. Similarly, you'd put in b minus 3 where there are originally x's in the f of x function. So it's going to become b minus 3 cubed minus 3b minus 3 squared plus 5. As you can see, all I have done is just put in b minus 3 where there are originally x's in f of x. Finally, if I change it up a bit and I said I wanted to put in f of x plus 2 into f of x, we would instead put in x plus 2 where there were originally x's in the f of x function. So f of x plus 2 is going to become x plus 2 all cubed minus 3 times x minus x plus 2 all squared plus 5. And there you go, that's pretty much the standard way of finding out function notation. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a function up. And let's say we try to make the scale relatively consistent. Draw that out. Got our x-axis here and our y-axis here. Should I make that? I'm going to make that line more vertical though. Before I continue. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, sure. Let's say I just drew this function out over here. And let's say we also have minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Oops. Just drawing out all the markings for all the labels. Okay, so now if I said this, I'm also going to quickly label the numbers. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. You get the idea. Minus 2, minus 3, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Okay, you get the idea now. Okay, if I said, looking at this diagram, what is f of 2, for example? What you just have to do is that means that the input for x is 2. So you would draw this out, 2, and then you would line it up with the y coordinate, which is roughly minus 2.5. So f of 2, where 2 is the x coordinate, y is going to be minus 2. So f of 2 is equal to minus 2. Now if I said, what is f of 3, or let's do f of minus 3. What you just have to do is, once again, go look for when x equals minus 3, because f of minus 3 means the function when x equals minus 3. And then line that roughly up with the y coordinate, and you see it's roughly 0.5 for the y coordinate. So f of minus 3 will equal minus 0.5. Now let's change it up a bit. Let's say instead, this time, I said, find x when f of x equals minus 1. So f of x equals minus 1. In this case, what I've given you is I've given you the y value, but I have not given you the x value, the input. So what we got to do is we got to draw a horizontal line at x equals minus 1 and see what x values line up at that point. And as we can see with this line I have just drawn, we have 2 points. We have one here and one here that intersect with y equals minus 1. So we see what the x values are. We see this one's roughly minus 1.5. And this one over here is roughly, let's say, 3.75. So x equals minus 1.5 and 3.75. So as you can see, it is very much down to this being the x value and that is being the y value in any function that you draw out. Okay. Now what I can also say is this function notation is not just limited to just f. It could be any letter I want. It could be any letter or symbol, whatever. It does not matter. F is just the general convention because f usually represents function. But now if I said, given f of x is equal to x cubed minus 2 and g of x is equal to 1 minus x squared plus 2x. If I said I wanted to find f of 1, you'd plug in 1 into f of x. So it's going to be 1 cubed minus 2. which will simplify 2 minus 1. Now, if I said I want now g of 1, that means I'm going to sub 1 into g of x, because the g lines up with the g here. So that's going to be 1 minus 1 squared plus 2 times 1. Similarly, if I said I want to find f of 2, and then g of 2, f of 2, you plug 2 into f, because we're finding f of 2 to start with. So that's going to be 2 cubed minus 2, which is going to be 6. And for g of 2, we sub 2 into x for g. So we're going to get 1 minus 2 squared plus 2 times 2, which is going to equal 1. So there you go. That's how we can tell the difference between f of x or g of x or whatever. Just take note that the letter just dictates which function you're plugging it into. You can use whatever letter you want for any function. Just be aware of that. Now for part C, I'm going to say it's part of a challenge question. If I said to find the point of intersection between f of x and g of x, this one is fairly simple. And this is the second thing I wanted to cover in this video. All you have to do is you just have to put the equation of f of x in your GDC as one function, then g of x as your other function in the calculator, and then you'll find the point of intersection that way. So I'm going to swap over to my calculator view, and we're going to go into graph, because we are going to graph the two functions. Then we're going to delete this, because this is not what we're using. Now we look at y1. That basically means function 1. So let's look. Our first function is f of x, which is x cubed minus 2. So we just put in x cubed minus 2. So we're going to put in x, power of 3 minus 2. And there we go. That's f of x done. Now for y2, which basically means function 2, we put in g of x, which is going to be 1 minus x squared plus 2x. Press execute. Now we can see over here in this view, I'm going to zoom in a bit because that's a bit hard to see everything. Let's put it in standard view. But you can see that there is maybe a little bit of point of intersection. So now all we do is we press gsolve, and as we can see, there's a whole bunch of stuff. We're going to put intersect. And you can see that there is just one point of intersection. That is that x approximately is equal to 1.55 to 3 significant figures. And y is equal to 1.70. And then I can press left or right to check if there are any others. As we can see, there are not. So therefore, the only point of intersection is 1.55, 1.70. Now, as my final question for this video, I'm going to say that f of x is equal to 3x plus 5, and g of x is equal to 7x minus 1. If I first of all asked for f of b, that's for part A, a bit of room for working, g of 3, and C, the find g of x. Okay, we'll say g of x equals 6, and I want to find x for this one. And then lastly, the point of intersection. I'm writing all of these parts out first to give you the opportunity to pause this video, give it all a crack first before I jump in and show you how to do it all. So if you're going to do that, go ahead. Otherwise, I'm going to get into how to solve all of these. So f of b means that we're looking at, first of all, function f. So we're just looking at function f for this question. and b is the input in brackets here. So that means we're going to put in b for when there were x's in f of x. So f of b is going to be 3b plus 5. Now for g of 3 here, we can see that we have g here. That is the part we're looking for. So with g of 3, we are also subbing in 3 for x in g of x. So that'll be 7 times 3 for the input minus 1, which is going to equal 20. Now for part C, we're saying g of x equals 6. I want to find x. What that means is that this function here equals 6. So if we write that, 7x minus 1 equals 6. We then rearrange the equation, make x a subject, and we have solved it. So we plus 1 to both sides, so plus 1 there. So 7x is going to equal 7, my bad. X is going to equal 1, therefore, if we divide both sides by 7. Okay, and finally, for the point of intersection, I just got to put the graph in of 3x plus 5 and 7x minus 1 in the calculator. Whoops, whoa, what happened there? Whoopsies. Okay. So first of all we got to do is just put this in the calculator. 3x plus 5. That's the first equation for f of x. And then 7x minus 1 for the second equation over here. Press execute. You can see the two lines. You can't really see the point of intersection here, so I'm just going to cursor up a little bit. And as you can see, it's right there. G-solve intersection, x is equal to 1.5, y equals 9.5. Therefore, the coordinate is going to be 1.5, 9.5. Now, before I wrap up, I'm going to go through one last part. You can redo this question manually without the help of a calculator, and I think it is just important to briefly understand how that works. All we got to do is, at the point of intersection, f of x is going to equal g of x. The x and the y values are going to exactly line up, and the y values are also going to line up. So that's just the important part there. Then what you have to do is you just have to sub in the equation for f of x, which is 3x plus 5, and g of x, and then solve for x. So for f of x, it's 3x plus 5 is equal to g of x, which is 7x minus 1. Rearranging that, we plus 1 to both sides. 3x plus 6 is equal to 7x. Subtracting 3x to both sides, 6 is equal to 4x. Therefore, x is going to equal 6 over 4, which simplifies to 3 over 2, which is the same thing as 1.5. Then what you can do to find the y value is you just sub in 3 over 2, or 1.5, into either f of x or g of x. It's entirely up to you. I'm going to sub it into f of x. So y is equal to 3 times 1.5 plus 5. And I'll clarify, this is the same thing as saying f of 1. It's f of 1.5. Because I'm subbing in 1.5 into f of x. And that is going to simplify to, also draw an arrow to indicate that's where I got it from. 4.5 plus 5, which is the same thing as 9.5. So as you can see, it's pretty much another way of solving that. I think that is just important to know, especially if they create questions that can sort of circumvent the use of calculators. So just keep that in mind for now. Okay? So that will wrap up what I want to cover for this video. And for the next one, I'm going to cover a new thing called domain and range. You may have heard of it. If not, it's an important thing to know. So I'll see you all in the next video.